Welcome back to Outside Views, and today we are lifting the lid on a scandal that makes the British rule of law look like a complete joke. The booming trade in ghost plates across Great Britain. And my personal view is that we are witnessing the total breakdown of the UK's road security, all because the government has allowed a number plate Wild West to flourish right under its nose. We're now in January 2026 and the data is absolutely terrifying. Experts and MPs are warning that as many as 1 in 15 vehicles on British roads are now carrying illegal or non-compliant plates. For those who don't know, ghost plates are high-tech. They are 3D or 4D number plates that look perfectly normal to you and me, but use infrared blocking materials to become invisible to automatic number plate recognition, the ANPR cameras. And I believe that Keir Starmer needs to stop talking about national renewal for a second and start looking at the fact that his own streets are being taken over by vehicles that are effectively ghosts to the police. And the outside view is that this isn't just about avoiding a few speeding tickets or congestion charges. This is a massive gift to organized crime, to drug dealers and even counter-terrorism threats. And my view is that the British government is asleep at the wheel while criminals use stealth technology to move around the country with total impunity. The scale of the ghost-placed industry in 2026 is a direct result of a licensing system that is frankly pathetic. Did you know that to become an official registered number plate supplier with a DVLA, all you need is £40 and a few minutes to fill out a form? There is no background check, no physical inspection of your premises, and zero ongoing monitoring of what you are actually printing. In an investigation reported just this week, it was revealed that thousands of these official dealers are selling ghost plates online without asking for a single piece of ID or a logbook. And my personal view is that the DVLA is essentially subsidizing crime by providing a legal front for people who are selling tools of evasion. When it's easier to buy an illegal camera blocking number plate than it is to get a library card, you know the system is broken. And I believe that Starmer's government is fundamentally failing in its basic duty to identify who is on the roads, and the public's trust in the police is being shredded every time someone gets away with it. The latest report from the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Transport, titled Ghosts on the Road, exposes that there are now over 34,000 registered suppliers in the UK, many operating from garden sheds with zero oversight. And some of these registered suppliers actually have criminal records for fraud or violent offences, yet they are still entrusted with handling sensitive customer identity documents. And the real-world consequences of this ghost fleet are staggering and frankly dangerous. In a recent 2-week pilot in Birmingham called Operation Phantom, a new generation of cameras detected over 4,300 instances of illegal ghost plates on nearly 3,000 individual vehicles. Think about the billions of pounds being drained from the economy through unpaid tolls, ULEZ fees, and speeding fines that can never be sent to the ghosts. But more importantly, think about the victims of cloning. Innocent motorists who wake up to find thousands of pounds in fines because a criminal bought a ghost version of their plate. And reports from late 2025 show that plate cloning cases have surged by 41% over the last 5 years, with over 14,000 cases expected to be reported this year alone. And my view is that the government is leaving law-abiding citizens to deal with the debt collectors and the police, while the ghosts laugh all the way to the bank. It's an absolute shambles, and it's a symptom of a country that has lost its grip on basic administrative competence. If you own a popular model like a BMW 3 Series or a Volkswagen Golf, you are a prime target for these phantom criminals who want to blend into traffic while they commit crimes. And I find it incredible that we are now in 2026 and the penalty for using a ghost plate is still a measly £100 fine with 0 penalty points. If you are a criminal hauling £50,000 worth of drugs, £100 fine isn't a deterrent, it's just a very small business expense. And the penalty for ghost plate is often less severe than the traffic offense it is designed to hide, which is the definition of a broken legal logic. And MPs like Sarah Coombs have been screaming for a toughening up of the law, calling for a review that includes fines of at least £1,000 and 6 penalty points. But the government's response has been agonizingly slow. And my personal view is that the UK's obsession with light touch regulation has created these giant security holes that threaten national security. The National Trading Standards warned the government just last month that the ghost plates pose a serious threat to counterterrorism operations. Vehicles with stealth plates can bypass surveillance systems around critical infrastructure like airports and government buildings, creating vulnerabilities that could be exploited for vehicle-borne attacks. And I believe that if Starmer doesn't act now, the UK's road network will become a dark web where the law simply doesn't apply to those who can afford a £30 piece of plastic. And the outside view is that a country that cannot even regulate its own number plates has no hope of tackling high-level organized crime. Transport for London has recently found that 41% of licensed taxis checked in one operation were using non-compliant plates to avoid road charging fees. And when the very people who are supposed to be vetted and professional and then are using stealth technology to cheat the system, the social contract is essentially dead. And I believe that the ghost plate boom is the ultimate symbol of a hollowed out state. One that has all the cameras in the world, even at the time when I used to live there, but none of the authority to make them count. And the government's new road safety strategy announced last week mentions tackling illegal plates. But we've heard these vague promises before. Starmer needs to shut down the £40 dealer loophole, and that tomorrow. Mandate £1,000 fines today and give the police the power to seize every single ghost car they find on the spot. The era of the number plate Wild West has to end before the ghosts completely haunt the British legal system into irrelevance. And this crisis is also hitting people where it hurts, their wallets and their peace of mind. Imagine being a pensioner in a small village who suddenly receives a stack of penalty charge notices from a tunnel in London they've never visited. The DVLA only investigates about 1% of reported cloning incidents, meaning victims are often left to fight the legal battle alone. And in 2025, over 50,000 UK drivers fell victim to car cloning, damaging their reputations and even their credit scores. And my view is that the UK has become a soft touch for fraud because the government refuses to implement a modern, a secure and a digital identification system for vehicles. Instead, we are stuck with a 2001 font and a registration system that relies on the honesty of 34,000 unregulated workshops. It's an embarrassment for a country that claims to be a global leader in technology and security. And if Starmer wants to show that Britain is turning the corner in 2026, he needs to start by making sure that you can actually see who is driving on the road. And let's look at the financial incentive driving this legal market. A set of high-quality ghost plates can be bought online for as little as £30 to £50. For a daily commuter in London's congestion charge zone, that place pays for itself in just 3 days. And the government is literally losing hundreds of millions of pounds in revenue that should be going into public services like the NHS or transport. And by failing to fix the plate system, the government is effectively taxing honest people more while letting the cheats drive for free. And I believe this is a moral failing as much as it is a technical one. And we are moving into an era where stealth is becoming the default for those who think they are above the law. And the outside view is that Britain is quickly becoming a place where the rules are only for the people who can't figure out how to bypass them for 30 quid. It's time to stop the gimmicks and start the renewal with some basic law and order on the motorways. The technology to fight back does exist, but it requires investment that the government seems hesitant to make. The new dual-camera ANPR systems use both infrared and color overview sensors to capture the details that ghost plates try to hide. TfL has already issued over 4,200 fines using the ghost-defeating cameras since July 2023, but they are only deployed in a few hotspots. And my personal view is that every single ANPR camera in the country should be upgraded to the standard immediately. The cost of the upgrade would be covered within months by the fines collected from the very people trying to evade them. But instead of a nationwide crackdown, you see a postcode lottery of enforcement where criminals just avoid the smart zones there. And I believe that the ghost plate industry is a test of Keir Starmer's leadership here. Is he willing to be tough on crime when that crime is happening on every high street in broad daylight? The national renewal he promised at the start of 2026 will be a hollow slogan once again if the ghosts are still running the roads by December. So in conclusion, the ghost plate scandal is a perfect storm of outdated laws, lazy regulation and high-tech criminal exploitation. And the UK's road network is the lifeblood of its economy, but right now it's being poisoned by a lack of accountability. From the £40 registration loophole to the pathetic £100 fines, every part of the current system is an invitation to break the law. And my personal view is that the British public deserves better than a government that ignores national security threats because they are too busy with fiscal rules. The ghosts are out there, they are growing in number, and they are making a mockery of the police every single day. And Starmer must act now to pull these vehicles out of the shadows and back into the light of the law. The era of the invisible criminal must come to an end, and it must end in 2026.